When I first walked into my third grade placement at Mary Harris Mother Jones Elementary School, I did not know what to expect from the students in the classroom. At first, I sat back, allowing myself to observe them and try to pick out the class clowns of the group, or the ones who always had their hands raised enthusiastically, or the ones who always had their heads down, hiding from the teacher's gaze. On the first day, while the kids were at music class, I told my placement teacher about the buddy experience project that we had to complete for class, and how we needed a buddy opposite of us at their age. She immediately listed off a few of her students that would be a perfect fit for me for this project. With these names in mind, I tried to work more closely with these students, and, sure enough, I found my buddy. While other students sat quietly in their seats, pretending to try to figure out their seat work on their own, my buddy would be jumping out of her seat, asking for help to problems she most likely already knew the answers to. She is not afraid to ask questions, and she always has something to say and always has something to add to the conversation. When asked why she was late one morning, instead of simply saying that her bus did not show up, she began to tell the entire class about how, after waiting a long, long time for the bus to show up, her mom's friend had to take her to school. Now, when she told the story, she did not leave a single detail out, and it was much, much longer. Her spunky and confident personality is the main reason as to why I chose her as my buddy. For her, I have found that school is boring at times because she understands almost all of the curriculum at a much faster pace than other students in the class. To set aside her boredom, she has to socialize to find some sort of excitement in her day-to-day schooling. Now, school did not come this easy to me as an elementary school student. I had questions about almost everything, from social studies to science to math to reading, but I was too shy to ask them. I wish I could go back and show the young me a little bit of the spark that my buddy brings to the classroom. When first arriving at my placement, I found that my assumptions were challenged when I found out how different the school was in comparison to where I grew up. My buddy, like a large majority of the class, had parents who moved from El Salvador to provide her with a better life. This two-story elementary school was completely different than I had expected. I entered the classroom overwhelmed at the 33 new student faces that peered at me with curiosity. This classroom size to me was outrageous. It was obvious that some students were completely lost during math review, while others, like my buddy, were bored because they were learning subtraction for the 6th time in a row. I went through the Howard County public school system in Maryland where, if you needed extra help, teachers would pull you aside and teach one-on-one with you until you understood the concepts. In this school, however, there was not an extra set of hands to do this, so if a child fell behind, they were left behind. Coming from an educational background where 20 was a large class, I still cannot seem to see how learning can effectively occur in a class size this big, no matter how good the teacher may be. During the student seat work time, I got to go around from table to table, seeing if anyone needed help on that day's assignments. It became apparent to me that most questions revolved around language issues of not knowing what a basic word was or means. If no one is there to answer these simple questions for them, how can we expect them to properly learn? This experience has made me realize how different each student truly is and makes me question how one teacher can cater to every single student's needs. I will most definitely take these thoughts and realizations with me into my future teaching career. Not every student can learn at a certain rate, but I have to appreciate this and build this into how I approach my teaching style. Every child has great potential. You simply have to figure out how to communicate with them.
Like a bird I sing, 'cause you've given me the most beautiful set of wings. One, two, three, like a bird I sing, 'cause you've given me the most beautiful set